very warm welcome to all, and I'm Dr. Priyanka Kamath. I'm a pediatrician and Honorary Secretary of IME Margam. So we know that COVID-19 pandemic, the second wave, has been no less devastating for pediatric population. The number of cases in the second wave is much more than we had seen in the last wave, the first phase of the epidemic. Furthermore, to add to it, prediction that the third wave is going to hit our country soon, predominantly affecting the pediatric population, has created panic attacks in each and every household, specifically the parents. So to talk about this, we have a very eminent pediatrician and neonatologist from Goa, Dr. Harshad Kamath, with us today. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Priyanka.
So we'll be discussing today about COVID and pediatrics, how COVID is affecting kids, and more stress we need on the third wave that's expected soon. So talking about the third wave, sir, I would like to ask you what's your take on the third wave affecting our country?
Well, Priyanka, I would have liked to have a crystal ball with me to see the future, but in lieu of that, what I could take recourse to is scientific evidence. We know the behavior of viruses in the previous pandemics, how it has behaved, and we also know what is happening in the rest of the world in different countries which are ahead of us in this pandemic. And we know that many of these countries have had a third wave and even a fourth and more. So we know from all evidence that we've got that it's very likely that we will have a third and maybe a fourth and to follow. How soon, how bad it will be has lots of variables. It depends upon what the mutant strain that comes about. People will follow appropriate COVID behavior or not, when the lockdown will be easing up and when the schools will open up. So there are lots of variables. But yes, it's very likely that the third wave is likely to hit us sometime in the near future.
And Dr. Harshad, as it is predicted that the kids are predominantly going to get affected in the third wave, what's your take on that?
So let me take you through some statistics and for the benefit of our people watching us, that in the first wave, and I'm specifically speaking about Goa, in the first wave from the data collated so far, we know that about 7% of tested positive below 18 years old in the first wave were about 7%. And in the second wave, we have found that that percentage has gone from 7% to 12%. So there's an increase. And therefore, if you go by that same logic, in the third wave, if and when it hits us, it's very likely that a significant number will be children. Now, why would that be so? That is because the susceptible population that we have in our state as of now is still below 18 years predominantly, because one, they have been sitting at home, they have not been exposed so much, also they have not been vaccinated. The adult population has either got more affected by the disease or a significant number of them are vaccinated. So by that logic, since the susceptible population will be children, the numbers are likely to be higher. But I would like to stress that this will not be a very, very severe disease for the vast majority. And I just would like to state Disraeli here that we should be prepared for the worst and hope for the best. That's what I would like to say.
That's so true. But we have seen during the second wave that a lot of adult patients have come with very severe disease, presented with severe pneumonia, presented with breathlessness. So basically the severity of the infection was much worse during
Correct.
the second wave.
Absolutely true. And that is where the mutations will matter. Now that's a variable which we do not know how it will behave.
Correct.
But what we know is that children in general so far, whether it's different countries which have had a third wave, fourth wave and different mutations, even there, it's not the children who have had very severe diseases. And we know that there were multiple factors for that. They have a very strong, robust immune response, they have lesser amount of ACE receptors, and they've had multiple infections in the past to prime their immune system. So various reasons we know children don't have the severe cytokine storm which the adults go through. But then what we also know that when the larger numbers get affected, some more will need to be hospitalized and taken care of. So yes, we don't expect, and this is what I would reassure parents about, We do not expect a large number of critically ill children. Small percentage will be there. And going by statistics again, around 90% of children will either have mild to asymptomatic disease, and about 10% will have some moderate to severe. If you see Niti Aayog, Dr. Paul's yesterday's recommendations, or rather cautionary advice, about 2 to 3% are expected to be in the severe category requiring hospitalization.
That's very reassuring, Dr. Harshit, because with the prediction of the third wave and it's going to predominantly affect the pediatric population, it's all over the media, all over the newspapers, and it's creating a lot of panic attacks in parents' mind. Plus, there is our Google Doctor, MISC. Everyone is reading about MISC because the newspapers are publishing MISC news
Absolutely.
almost on alternate days, and it's creating a lot of panicky situation in the general public, in our masses. So, what would you like to talk about this, and what would you like to tell the parents or general public about MISC?
That's a very important point, and I think what parents should know that first of all, MISC is multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children. It happens so about a few weeks, maybe 2 weeks to 4 weeks to 6 weeks, up to 3 months after an acute COVID infection. But the single most important point to remember, it's a rare thing. It's a very uncommon event to happen. Various figures are put, maybe 1 in 100 to 1 in 200 of positive patients. It's not a common condition. So first, parents should be reassured on that point. The second point is, everybody should be aware of it, but having identified it early from our side, it's very much a treatable condition. And about 90 to 95% of these children will do absolutely fine. Some will require intensive care management, some will require specific drugs like IV gamma globulins or steroid, but they will still recover. And my point here is to people to be aware of it, that it can be treated is the most important thing to understand. So what they should be watching out for, if families have had COVID and there are children in that category who have got exposed or have been tested and known to be positive, then for a duration of 3 months after that, if they develop high-grade fever, and I'm talking about high-grade fever like 101, 102 and above, for more than 2 days, then they should contact their respective pediatrician. There is no reason to get panicky. Please remember, there are so many other positive fevers that will be there. Every fever is not going to be MISC. After all, it's a rare event, but awareness should be there, and that respective pediatrician will obviously investigate the child. Whether it's an older child like a teenager who goes to a family physician, even they have been made aware of this situation. Now almost all the doctors through the Indian Academy of Pediatrics and the IMA have had refresher courses, multiple kind of discussions for everybody to be aware of this. So every doctor is aware of this and people need not panic.
Yes, definitely.
So just to add to that point as to what are the things they should be aware of. Yes, they get high fevers. They may develop symptoms like redness of the eyes, redness of the mouth, red lips, swelling of the back of the neck may be there, rash on the body, swelling of the hands and feet. These are features we used to call like Kawasaki type of disease. Also, the child may have more deleterious symptoms like sudden breathlessness, collapsing, suddenly becoming pale, or severe abdominal pain. So there is a constellation of symptoms. If in doubt, they should ask their doctor. Just be aware of these situation, but please don't panic.
Exactly. So the best thing we can tell the parents is that just stay on your guard.
Absolutely.
Watch out for symptoms, but don't panic.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's the most important thing to be followed. So coming next to talking about vaccines. So we know that our adult population, 18 years and onwards, are vaccinated. There are studies showing that a few vaccines for COVID will be coming soon in pediatric population. So I would like to ask about the vaccination against COVID in kids. And second is a news which came in the papers a few days back about the flu vaccine. So since then we've started getting calls from parents saying that I want to get flu shot because it's going to prevent my child from COVID. So these myths also have started coming up in public. So what is your take on it?
So I shall answer your first question with regards to COVID-19 vaccine. Yes, the vaccine that we have in our country right now is the Covishield, we have the Covaxin, and now the Sputnik is going to come almost, and many more are going to come. Unfortunately, none of these have yet been authorized for children below 18. What is authorized and approved for children between the age of 12 and 18 is the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine, which are on what is known as mRNA platform. These are available in the Western world. So far, they have not yet come to India. If and when it does come, yes, 12 to 18-year-old children would be eligible for it. Now, in the absence of vaccination, the most important vaccine that we have is the mask and COVID appropriate behavior, which has worked so well for the last year and a half almost. But what is more important is that the parents and the caregivers and the adults in the family, because of whom the children get exposed, they should all get vaccinated. And I'm really appalled that even today, despite so much of a magnitude of information, there are a large number of people who are still hesitating to take the vaccine. I really wish to this medium, we can appeal to everybody to please go ahead and take the vaccine as fast as possible. So that is with regards to the COVID vaccine. As regards the flu question, or the question pertaining to the flu shots, now Indian Academy of Pediatrics is very categorically given recommendations. And that is pre-monsoon, we recommend all children from the age of 6 months to 5 years to take a flu shot. We also recommend that they should be given to children who are high risk, asthmatics, those with chronic conditions like liver, kidney, heart, and obese children is another high risk category. They should all get a flu shot. But it is not against COVID. There is a school of thought, and some experts have made this point very clear, that in this year they are suggesting, it is not a universal recommendation, that those parents who wish to give their children flu shot do so, because in this year, in the flu season, when the flu becomes common, they do not want more patients to crowd healthcare facilities with fevers which are of other causes and then expose them to COVID or it being laboratory testing and all that. So from that perspective, there is a recommendation to give a flu shot, which is fine, but please note it is not against COVID.
Exactly. So moving on to our next point, I would like to make a mention here that Dr. Harshad is a part of the expert committee that is formed by the government task force to tackle the third pandemic wave that's predominantly affecting the pediatric population. So, Dr. Harshad, I would like to ask you about the state contingency plans that are being put forward by the government. What is their preparedness in this third wave, COVID pandemic third wave?
So the Honorable Chief Minister and the Honorable Health Minister have already constituted a task force, and to guide them there's an expert committee of doctors. So the expert committee is already under the chairmanship of the Dean Dr. Bandekar, had already 3 meetings so far, and everything that has come through on the basis of data right from AIIMS to the Ministry of Health, Family Welfare and other states have all been taken and into cognizance, and a kind of a roadmap as well as whatever infrastructure upgradation is required to meet this contingency of third wave has already been addressed. Roughly, I will say that a current plan has been made for about 1,000 to 1,200 pediatric beds in the state, about 400 of which would be oxygen beds, about 150 high dependency pediatric unit, including PICU, has been made arrangements for, and about 50 to 60 NICU beds dedicated for COVID. There is also a plan that if required, 20% of the adult ICU beds can be taken in for the adolescent age, because these are the older children who are big, they can be managed in those category also. So at the level of the health services and every district hospital, all plans have been put in for. So people of Goa and all the parents and the children who are watching this, because many of them are a lot of patients, should not worry about the situation like the second wave, and we were unprepared for that not to happen. Things are in place.
As a final note, Dr. Harshad, I would like you to give your advice to the parents listening to us today about their preparedness, what precautions they have to take in this current scenario and also in the third upcoming wave of the COVID pandemic?
I think the first and the most important thing the parents and the children who are watching this should know that this is not a serious disease so much for children per se. But we should not think that this disease is very light. We should be serious enough to take cognizance that this particular virus, if tackled early, can be managed very well. That is number one. Number two, parents should follow COVID appropriate behavior and imbibe the same in their children, and whosoever they talk about, meet, they should encourage the same. Third and the most important thing is they should all get vaccinated, those who are eligible. Please do not shy away from being vaccinated, because that is our single most important instrument to tackle this pandemic. And fourth, do not fall prey to WhatsApp University and Dr. Google for all kind of wrong information. Please contact your family doctor or your pediatrician or your family physician to get correct information. And please understand that everything for the third wave, if it happens, is already in place, and they should rest assured that they need not worry about it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harshad, for enlightening us about pediatrics and COVID and impending third wave. I'm very sure this will alleviate fear and anxiety from the minds of the general public and the parents specifically. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Dr. Harshad, once again.